Hi, it's Emily Leiphart from Art from the Heart, and in this video I'm showing a card for the Hero Arts 2014 catalog blog hop with the Hero Hostesses. The focal point of my card will be the love stamp from the Good Luck stamp set. As you can see, the stamp set is quite large and includes so many great chalkboard style sentiments, which makes it extremely versatile for all your card making needs. I can see myself making an entire card of sets using just this one stamp set, and it's become one of my new favorites. I'm going to start by stamping the framed love sentiment with 3 different Hero Arts inks: Pale Tomato, Soft Cantaloupe, and Bubblegum. I think these 3 colors look so pretty together. I grab a piece of white cardstock and stamp the sentiment 3 times, once in each of the 3 colors, cleaning the stamp with a baby wipe after each stamping. When the stamping is done, I fussy cut all 3 of the frames. Once all the frames are cut out, I arrange and layer them so that the pale tomato color lies on top with the soft cantaloupe and bubblegum peeking out from the sides. Once I have it the way I like it, I can go ahead and work on the background. I'll trim a piece of white cardstock which will serve as a mat on the base of the card. I'm going to use the new Hero Arts Basic Gray Tiny Triangles background cling, which I've mounted on a Hero Arts acrylic block. The design is very busy and I don't want it to overwhelm the sentiment, so I'm going to use my Hero Arts inks to create what looks like an artsy kind of scribble. Since I want the pale tomato color as the main focal point, I'm only going to use the soft cantaloupe and bubblegum inks on the background to complement the underlying tones of the sentiment frames. The way I create the background is to use the short edge of the ink pad and hit the stamp with a quick chopping motion. As I move down the stamp, I angle the ink pad left and right with each motion. If I don't angle the ink pad, then the lines will blend into each other too much. After I finish doing this with the soft cantaloupe ink pad, I switch over to the bubblegum ink pad and do the same thing, being careful not to overlap or blend the colors too much. I want both colors to be distinct, yet neither messy nor too neat. I can see the wet ink on the stamp when I'm done, so I take the white cardstock, hover it over the stamp to gauge exactly where the ink will be centered on it. When I'm ready, I place the cardstock on the stamp and press down evenly to absorb the ink. When I lift the cardstock off the stamp, I have a really cool background that was super quick and easy to make. Imagine all the color combinations you could use for backgrounds like this. I can't wait to try it out with different Hero Arts backgrounds. Since the colors are so soft and pretty, I'm going to use a pale gray card base. It's dark enough to complement but not overwhelm the peachy pink tones. Now that the background is finished, I'm going to hold the frames over top of it to visualize the final design. Even though there's a lot of colors and patterns, I feel like it needs something else, perhaps to separate the frames from the background. I don't want an embellishment that would be too harsh and compete with either the background or the sentiment frames, so I'm going to die cut the new spring branch from vellum. I want 2 of these branches to extend out from the sentiment in opposite corners of the card. Look how beautifully they cut and how easy they were to separate from the surrounding vellum. I do a bit of arranging to see exactly how the branches will look with the rest of the elements. I think they finished the card beautifully, so I can start to adhere all the layers onto the card base, starting with the matte background. Once that is secured, I rearrange the branches to make sure I want them as before. As you can see, I often use my acrylic blocks to hold things in place. When adhering vellum, I always try to make sure that the adhesive will be hidden. Since I'm using glue dots, I keep referring back to the position of the sentiment frames to make sure that the adhesive will be hidden in the spots where I intend to adhere the branches. When I'm sure everything's exactly where I want it, I can start to add glue dots to some of the leaves. Once the branches are secure, I can adhere the 3 sentiment frames together. I'm going to pop up the top layer with foam tape and the bottom 2 layers flat. Once that is complete, I can adhere it to the card base with glue dots. To make sure that the focal point is perfectly centered, I center the card itself against the grid lines on the mat, and then make sure the details on the scrolls line up as well. That completes my card. Please refer to the supply links below if you're interested in any of the products I used in this video. You can also visit my blog for stills and more information. Thanks so much for watching.